A24, the studio behind Hereditary, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and most recently The Backrooms, is making a live-action adult Barney movie. And yet, after nearly 7 years, I still can't confidently tell you a single thing that happens in it. Fantastic.
Tippity, top of the morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hadley Riffkin, and welcome to the NewsDesk, your one-stop shop for all things Barney news. And today, we're talking about anything and everything related to the upcoming live-action adult Barney movie. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Oh, you may notice I'm not in my formal clothes today. I'm in my jammies, my little scrumbly buttons, and that's because I've been catching up on some sleep lately. Some Z's, some siesta, if you will. Look it, between you and me and all of these people, there's a bit of a situation going on right now. But it's on a need-to-know basis. You don't have to worry. Don't ask any questions, okay, Barbara? We're gonna talk later. See me in the... Let's get to our story today.
This story began in October 2019 when Mattel Films announced that it was developing a live-action Barney movie with Valparaiso Pictures and Daniel Kaluuya's production company, 59%. And for anyone unfamiliar with Daniel Kaluuya, he's an Oscar-winning actor known for films like Get Out, Nope, and Judas and the Black Messiah. In other words, he had built a career around social horror, psychological tension, and intense dramatic performances. Mattel was like, you know what this man needs? Me. But Kaluuya's interest in Barney was completely sincere. He explained that Barney had been an enormous part of so many people's childhoods, but eventually he disappeared from the culture and became misunderstood. His entire idea for the film revolved around the message at the end of every Barney episode: I love you, you love me. Barney promises children that they are loved and that the world can be kind. Kaluuya wanted to explore what happens when those children become adults and discover that life does not always keep that promise. And that's a pretty interesting idea, especially because it's not some dumb Barney is evil premise. It's about growing up, becoming disillusioned, and confronting the optimistic things you used to believe. For several years, however, almost nothing happened publicly. The movie remained in development, the script was reworked, and Daniel Kaluuya continued producing rather than planning to play Barney himself. However, something really interesting happened when during a 2022 red carpet interview, a reporter asked Kaluuya who he wanted to see inside the Barney costume.
I do have to, of course, ask you about Barney. Who do you want to see in that suit?
No, I don't even I'm not in Barney. Like I say, Barney is like, I'm not in it. Like, I'm just producing it, we'll just work on it. Who do I want to see in a suit? I want it to, whatever suits the story.
Suits the story? Suit like Barney's suit? Oh. More importantly, the conversation suggests that they're planning on having Barney be a physical costume role performed by a person. And thank heavens, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Barney will be a mascot suit. You know, because if this film is targeting adults who grew up with Barney, the original character is the main attraction. You cannot rely on nostalgia and then redesign him until he resembles a purple cough drop mascot. We all remember what's happened with piece of trash, garbage, travesty, CGI, reboot, poop, sandwich, Barney's World. We all know. Then in 2023, the movie went from mildly interesting to completely baffling. Mattel executive Kevin McKeon told The New Yorker that the film would be surrealistic and compared its intended style to the work of Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze. And if those names mean absolutely nothing to you, they're associated with strange, emotionally complex films where ordinary people are placed inside impossible situations and gradually begin questioning their identities and their relationships and their entire existences. Barney is about babies learning the alphabet. So this was understandably pretty strange that these were the styles the Barney film was being compared to. He even described it as an A24 type movie. This was before A24 had joined the project.
And they say manifesting doesn't work. You know, maybe if I manifest, I can get that Latina girl at the gym. You don't go to the gym. Desk, I swear!
However, after this, there was clearly some sort of shift in the tide, because Mattel began gently walking these comments backwards. Mattel Films boss Robbie Brenner confirmed that the movie would not be R-rated. She described it as a life-affirming story involving identity, love, and feelings of alienation. Mattel CEO Ynon Kreiz later insisted it would be fun and fresh and culturally relevant, and that, most importantly, it would not be an odd movie. You compared Barney to Adaption, it's gonna be an odd movie. Finally, in February 2025, the A24 type movie officially became an A24 movie. This announcement also came with the reveal that Ayo Edebiri had been hired to write the screenplay. She also entered negotiations to star in the film, although it's never been officially confirmed if she's part of the cast. Edebiri is probably one of the smartest choices they could have made. If you don't know who she is, she's an award-winning actress and writer, best known for her breakout role in FX hit series The Bear. She's extremely funny, coming from a background as a comedian, but her work can also be awkward, uncomfortable, and emotionally sincere without being too much or overbearing. If this movie needs someone who can make Barney funny without mocking the property, she seems like a fairly good candidate. By late 2025, reports had stated the screenplay was finished, and that remains the last major thing we know for certain. There's still no officially announced director, production date, release date, complete cast, or a plot synopsis. Except the plot supposedly leaked. An insider report from the Insider called Edebiri's screenplay a banger and claimed it involved characters magically entering Barney's world through an old episode of the television show. This spread really quickly around the internet, and people were pretty excited that they were going to treat the property with respect.
This was fake. Well, allegedly. Probably. Hereditary.
But it hasn't officially been disproven either. It just doesn't have a very good source behind it. It's never been confirmed by Mattel, A24, or any of the directors or people involved, so I think the most accurate answer is that the real plot is still a secret and this description is unverified. If I were to personally guess, I think it's gonna be a Sonic or Christopher Robin style movie about a fictional character coming into the real world, partnering with some random dude, and traveling around in a car. I'd like to be proven wrong, and while A24 and Ayo Edebiri being present gives me hope, this is still a corporate franchise movie built around a recognizable mascot, and Hollywood has forced enough of those creatures into road trip comedies for me to recognize the symptoms. Barney's only received one theatrical movie before, and it was long before Mattel bought the brand. 1998, Barney's Great Adventure, the movie. That film took Barney outside the familiar television setting for a larger adventure involving a magical egg, and while it dominated the home video sales, it only earned around $12.2 million at the box office and never launched a film series. That movie was essentially the television show, but on the big screen. But this new film cannot survive by doing that. Preschoolers already have Piece of Trash Barney's World handling the current children's side of the franchise, so the theatrical movie is free to chase the adults who remember the original. It seems after the explosive success of 2023's Barbie, Mattel has been trying to replicate that formula, where they take a children's property, hand it to a respected filmmaker, and try and convince the audience that this toy from their childhood has this sentimental cinematic meaning. Fairly recently, they released Masters of the Universe, a live-action film based on the old 80s He-Man cartoon. I've also heard rumblings of movies about the Magic 8 Ball, Matchbox cars, and even a Whack-A-Mole. So you're telling me we can make billion-dollar movies about a plastic fortune teller and hitting rodents with a mallet, but apparently there's no money available when I need to disappear into Luxembourg for 6 months? This freaking economy. So what's this movie actually going to be? The honest answer is that nobody outside the production currently knows. I've told you all what we've been told, and that's pretty much all we know. The most obvious version of this movie would ridicule Barney or transform him into something dark, but that joke has existed for more than 30 years. There's nothing especially daring about taking this children's thing and making it all spooky. The genuinely unusual and much more interesting version would take Barney seriously. It would ask what happens when a generation raised on messages of love and universal acceptance grows into a world that frequently offers none of those things, and whether believing in them again would be childish or completely necessary. That could be really clever and moving, or it could suck, but for the first time in Barney history, I genuinely have no idea what to expect. No one does, and that might be the best marketing that this movie has.
Mattel, if you're watching, you should invite me, Hadley Riffkin, to the A24 Barney movie premiere. I'll show up in a much better outfit than this. You know I got the style on fleek, as the kids say. And also, I'll give the film 10 out of 10 riffs on the Riffometer if you invite me, okay? I think that concludes our segment today. Thank you so much for watching the News Desk. I've been Hadley Riffkin. Stay Rifftorious, and I'll see you in the next one.